Welcome back, everybody. We continue to keep an eye on the number of migrants crossing the border here into the U.S. We first brought you the story last night, a report from U.S. Customs and Border Protection showing the number of people crossing the border has surged now to levels not seen since before COVID. Border Patrol officials in South Texas say thousands are crossing into the Rio Grande Valley every day. And now we've learned hundreds of released migrant families are being sent to San Antonio in addition to other Texas cities. Earlier today, I spoke to Sandra Sanchez, our NewsNation border reporter. She's in Donna, Texas, near Reynosa, Mexico, and she's been following these issues and now has reaction from state lawmakers. Sandra, thanks for being with us again tonight. We certainly appreciate your time. Start off with just the main headline here as to why San Antonio is now joining a certain list of cities there in Texas receiving these undocumented migrants.
That's right. Thanks for having me. Today, we learned that San Antonio joins a list of other cities, which include El Paso and Laredo, to receive undocumented migrants that are being released from U.S. Customs and Border Protection. I learned this from U.S. Representative Henry Cuellar. He's a Democrat from South Texas, and he's vice chairman of the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Homeland Security, which is in charge of the funding for DHS. And it happens that Laredo's his hometown, and San Antonio is also part of his district. So he's not very pleased that these are two of the three cities in which migrants are being released. As we discussed yesterday, they're not all being tested for coronavirus, and there have been some cases.
And do we have a rough number yet? How many have ended up in these Texas cities so far? And I assume the line is long. There are more to come.
Yesterday, during a briefing, acting CBP Commissioner Troy Miller would not specify how many have been released, but he did say that over 100,400 were apprehended on the southwest border just in the month of February. And the great majority are being caught here in South Texas. This is an area that has long been popular by drug cartels to cross young migrants, unaccompanied migrants from the Central American countries of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, as well as what's called family units. And as we talked about yesterday, now the federal government is not allowed to release back any who have 7-year-old or younger tender-age children to the state of Tamaulipas, which is just to the south of us. So they're kind of getting stuck here. So every day, I've been told hundreds are being released, and now San Antonio is accepting them.
And it sounds like, from reading your reporting on this issue, there is some kind of conflict between the state and federal officials and the local officials who lead these cities and towns who are getting these migrants in. Just a lack of communication. They don't feel like they're in the loop enough in terms of what to do in regard to receiving these migrants.
Well, yes, and also politics has a great deal to do with what's happening down here. We have a Republican governor, Texas, Greg Abbott, and he has refused to accept federal resources, FEMA resources, to administer some of these COVID tests. He says it's the federal responsibility of the federal government to administer these to the undocumented migrants. Washington, D.C., the Biden administration is not recognizing this as a crisis, which the local leaders here are saying. And then you have the local municipalities who feel like they're caught in the middle, and they just want a say-so, and they want to be heard, and they want to keep the public safe.
And last question before we let you go. You'll be covering a delegation tomorrow.
Yes, today we learned that in a bipartisan effort, Senator John Cornyn, a Republican, is planning on joining Cuellar, and they are going to tour another unaccompanied migrant facility that is about 200 miles north of here in the town of Carrizo Springs. I'm again in Donna, Texas, in front of one of the facilities where they're processing migrants and families. But they're going to tour the Carrizo Springs facility, then they're going to Laredo, and they're going to hold a roundtable discussion. The mayor of Laredo and the mayor of Eagle Pass and Del Rio are expected to attend, and I'll be there, and it'll be interesting to hear what everyone says. So hope to have that story for you on borderreport.com.
Sandra, you're right there on the front line covering an important issue. We certainly, for a second day in a row, appreciate your time. I know it's windy and noisy where you are, but as always, a lot of good information in there about a growing situation at the border. Thanks so much. And for more reports from Sandra Sanchez and her team, go to borderreport.com.